Am I the asshole for my behavior at a buffet?
What? I thought you said, am I responsible for my behavior at a buffet? I'm like, yeah, probably.
Did my actions lead to me having consequences?
Huh?
Curious.
What is this? Life is strange, but I'm cis.
Yeah.
But I'm
AWSR Gaming.
cis.
All right. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I, 28 female, recently reconnected with a friend, 27 female from high school. Let's name her Brenna.
Okay.
We were really close, like think inseparable, but the distance after we moved away inevitably caused our friendship to dwindle.
Right.
I recently moved to her city with my husband, and it was like nothing had changed. After a few one-on-one lunches, she wanted to introduce me to some of her other friends from uni. We decided on an upscale buffet at a hotel. I think it's relevant to include that the university she went to was known for its extremely wealthy and privileged students.
Okay.
Coming from an upper middle class background, I wasn't really sure what to expect or what we'd have to connect on, but she assured me it'd be okay and that everyone was really, quote, down to earth. I got along with everyone really well. The conversations were engaging and we were all bounced off of each other really nicely with the banter. She booked it on a Monday afternoon so it'd be relatively less crowded, so none of us would have trouble communicating. But here's where I think everything went wrong. There was a short queue behind me, 3 people, all in our party, one of whom included Brenna, when I was trying to scoop a stew for myself. It was a minestrone and I had accidentally grabbed a scoopful of vegetables instead of soup. So on my second scoop, I decided to do the opposite so that I can get a balance of both. My first scoop hardly contained any soup. I stopped after 2 scoops and turned to see Brenna staring at me with an appalled expression. I was really puzzled, but I kept on walking back to our table, so I wasn't blocking anyone's way, and I figured I should ask her about it later. The rest of the lunch, I noticed Brenna acting really strange. She was limiting her interactions with me, avoiding eye contact with me, etc. Another friend, 28 male, even asked her about this, and she dismissed the question. She said, "I don't know what you're talking about." After we all said goodbye, I got a series of texts from Brenna saying how disgustingly, quote, low class I acted in front of her friends. I asked her what she meant, and she referred to how I selectively scooped the minestrone in front of her and how it's extremely poor etiquette to pick and choose portions at a buffet. I tried explaining to her it was an accident, and I hadn't intentionally tried to do what she was explaining. Yeah, I know, yeah.
It's a buffet.
It's a fucking buffet,
That's like
dude.
the only place you do that.
Yeah, going to CC's Pizza, grabbing an extra slice of pizza. You fucking asshole. How dare you?
I mean, maybe I'm just too poor, but I'm like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I have to be polite at the Golden Corral.
Yeah.
Sorry,
no.
honey, I didn't get the fucking huge pile of... Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't get the huge... I'm sorry, honey. I took too much of the completely dry, sitting there all day pile of scrambled eggs at the Shoney's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I took 2 scoops of scrambled eggs at Shoney's, honey.
What a fucking bitch. Yeah. Jesus. I tried explaining to her it was an accident, and I hadn't intentionally tried to do what she was explaining, but she said I was still holding up the line. I apologized for that, and she hasn't responded since. I apologized to the 2 other people that were waiting behind me, but they didn't know what I was talking about. I explained to them what Brenna said, and they said she's being a pompous ass and told me to forget about it.
Yeah.
Now I have no idea what to feel because I initially felt extremely guilty when Brenna confronted me, but hearing these 2 say it's no big deal is really making me wonder. I would love some other opinions. Thanks. Edited to add, well, obligatory, I was not expecting this to blow up comment, but seriously, it was about soup, crying laughing emoji.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I truly want to thank everyone for your kind words and insight. I made plans with one of the ladies I met. Brenna still has not responded, but thanks to you all, I know I don't need her to, and I better hope she doesn't. Am I the asshole for not writing vows for my wedding?
Yeah. Oh
well,
my gosh.
Hold on. No.
Sarah, why are you judging so much? It's yes. And book.
Guys.
And it's done.
So, our 33 male just got married last weekend, and what was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives turned into this whole drama fest, and I really don't get why. Reread the title, bro. Reread the...
I don't get it. I just didn't
totally
write
don't get it.
vows for my wife.
My wife, Sarah, 30 female.
God damn it.
I forgot that
God
was the name.
fucking shit.
And I have been together for 5 years, and I've always been a straightforward, no-nonsense kind of guy. I think I was going back and forth with how fake this one was, but I like the writing of it.
I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of straightforward, no nonsense type of guys that genuinely struggle. Like well, that genuinely struggle with writing.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everyone is a creative loser like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I show my love through actions, not words. I take care of her, I'm loyal, and I've always been there when she needs me. So when it came to planning the wedding, I didn't think writing vows was a big deal. No. We're busy people, and between work, wedding planning, and just life in general, I didn't really have the time or honestly the interest to sit down and write some long, sappy speech. I mean, she knows I love her, right? I don't need to prove it with words. Checkmate, liberals. I figured the wedding itself, the whole event, was enough to show my commitment. Plus, I've never been good with words. I'm more of a, quote, action speak louder kind of guy.
You've said that already.
Yeah. Gotta justify it again. The night before the wedding, Sarah asked if I had my vows ready, and I just casually told her, no, I didn't write anything down, but I'll say something on the spot. She looked a bit surprised, but I didn't think much of it. I mean, we were about to get married. Why stress over some words when the whole point is that we're making a lifelong commitment?
It's wild that you're not stressed about everything the night before your wedding, I think.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the ceremony, the officiant asked me to say my vows, and I just kind of winged it. I said something like, I love you, I'll always be there for you, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. Short, sweet, and to the point. I thought it was fine, but when I looked at Sarah, she had this crushed look on her face. Like, I don't understand what the big deal was. She was getting commitment, right? That's what matters. After the ceremony, she was quiet, and I could tell she was upset, but I don't get why. Later, some of her friends and even a couple of mine come up to me saying I really messed up by not preparing vows, that it looked like I didn't care and that Sarah deserved better. One of her bridesmaids even had the audacity to say I embarrassed her in front of everyone. I was like, seriously? We're married now. That's what counts, not some cheesy speech. When I talked to Sarah later, she said she felt hurt that I didn't put any effort into the vows and that it made her feel like I don't care as much as she does. I told her that was ridiculous. I married her, didn't I? That's the ultimate proof of how much I care. Why should I have to spell it out in front of everyone? Honestly, I think everyone's overreacting. The wedding was beautiful, and at the end of the day, we're married. That's what matters. I don't see the point in making a big deal out of a few words when I'm already committed to spending my life with her. But now I'm here because people are acting like I'm the worst husband ever for not writing vows. Am I the asshole for not writing wedding vows because I didn't see the point when my actions should speak for themselves?
Okay. Side tangent.
Okay.
I last night I hyper focused on Swiss Army knives, and I looked up a bunch of Swiss Army knives. I specifically wanted to find one that had the Phillips head screwdriver and the corkscrew on it, because those are the two things I think I would use a lot.
Yeah. Because
we can never find a screwdriver, and I would just love to be able to open wine.
Normally.
Because usually every time you open wine, it's like, where is it?
Yeah, it's a big process.
And also, I feel like if my shit has like 2 different beer openers on it, I want a wine opener too.
Yeah.
Because there are usually both at events, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I want that. Go to the Swiss Army Knife website. There aren't any that have both.
Yeah.
Except for the huge one that's like this wide.
Which kind of gets rid of the point of having a Swiss Army knife.
Because it's supposed to fucking fit in your pocket?
Yeah.
So then I Google it, because I'm like, what are people doing? Do they change out their... Or is there a way to choose which tools you want on your Swiss Army knife? No. You have to buy a Swiss Army knife and, like, figure out how to, like, manually get it off... Like, change it. You know? Which I'm not going to be able to do. I'm just going to tell you right now, that's not a skill I'm willing to learn.
Yeah.
Because it's super highly specific.
Yeah.
I can't really see at 26 turning 27 this year what that would do for me in the future.
Yeah, you're not going to learn metallurgy or whatever the fuck it's called.
I'm not going to have a metallurgy business.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make rings for people and shit. I'm a podcaster, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what the fuck? And then I find out there's an old model, and the reason that they don't do this is so you buy multiple Swiss Army knives. And I was like, well, what's the point? This is not efficient. I understand that kind of mentality of, why do I have to say things 5 times to prove who I am to somebody?
Yeah.
But your wife isn't a Swiss Army knife. She's a human being.
Am I the asshole for not letting a pregnant woman have any of my birthday cake? My birthday was yesterday, and my husband invited his best friend Matt and his best friend's pregnant girlfriend Jane out for a barbecue. They live 2 houses down from us. It was only us, our 3 children, and then them and their 3 kids. I spent about $90 on hamburger and hot dogs. Matt also showed up with 2 pounds of hamburger. While the guys cooked, I went swimming with all of the kids in our pond. Jane sat near the guys on her phone. Around 5:30ish, the guys called the kids up for food. Me and my middle child, 9, weren't hungry yet, so we kept swimming. We spent a good 40 plus extra minutes in the pond on our tubes. I wasn't paying any attention to anything that was going on near the grill. Around 6:15ish is when my husband said he was going to make a store run for beer. So I tell my son that we should probably go and eat now. My husband and Matt are gone by the time we get up to the grill. So is Jane. Well, we get up to the grill and all of the food is gone. Literally everything. I call my husband and ask him where all of the food is, and he said that it should be on the grill. I tell him that everything is gone. There was a long pause before he goes, quote, Jane asked if she could take some leftovers, but I didn't think she would take all of it. He then tells me there was at least 8 burgers and 10 hot dogs left, as well as macaroni salad when he left for the store just 10 minutes prior. I tell him to call Matt and see where the fuck all the food is. He does. He then calls me back and says that Matt claims Jane only took a few and that they had already been eaten. But my oldest son, 13, straight up tells me he saw Jane walk off of our property carrying the entire dish.
Ooh.
One of those extra large tinfoil barbecue dishes. Anyways, I'm pissed at this point. Me and my son hadn't eaten anything. My husband is also pissed, but he just grabbed me and my son something from the store instead of making a big fuss about it. I don't really blame him. Him and Matt work together, so it is what it is. But anyways, much to my surprise, Jane and her kids come back over 45 minutes later and ask if they can have some of my cake.
Oh, wow.
I tell Jane that her kids can, but she can't. She asks why, and I said, quote, I'm pretty sure you've eaten plenty, considering you took off with my entire barbecue dinner before me and my son could eat anything. She tried arguing that my husband told her she could have it, that half of it was hers because they brought 2 pounds of hamburger meat, and that she didn't realize me and my kid hadn't eaten. She was by the grill the entire time. I just shrugged my shoulders and walked away. She then told her kids, let's go, and they left without any cake. Now I'm feeling like I may be the asshole. No one has said anything, but I know there's tension.
I kind of love petty shit like this.
To say it to her face like
I
that?
kind of think that that's so funny.
That's
I think
great.
it's kind of an icon.
I mean, the audacity of this woman to come back over for cake? You just took 8 burgers and 10 hot dogs.
Like, I get pregnant women have cravings, but not like that.
Am I the asshole for using my husband's salary to make a point to his family, after he told me I should stand up for myself instead of expecting him to do it for me? My husband and I are doing okay financially. We make enough to not worry about rent and necessities. We are saving a decent amount and have a scope of growth for our careers. I make a little more than 1/3 of our combined income. We are both in our late 30s and we have 2 6-year-old boys. I have never really liked my husband's family, well, most of them anyways, because they have a lot of old-fashioned opinions and don't really approve of me. We don't have a lot of contact, so it's okay though. My husband's cousin's wedding is this week, and they are getting married in our city, so he offered for his parents and aunt and uncle to stay with us. The bride and the groom are going to be renting a place by themselves. It is a bit of a squeeze, but we're making it work. They have been here for 2 days now, and on the first day, I heard them having a whole discussion on how it's so sad that our children don't get to have a proper childhood with a mom at home, like my husband and his cousin got, while they were in the living room and I was in the kitchen, and they knew that I could hear. I was stewing, but I really don't like confrontation, so I didn't say anything. Later, I asked my husband if he could please tell them to shut up with the snide comments about me. He said that it's just their opinion and it's not really hurting me, and if I'm bothered I should learn to stick up for myself, and that he can't always do it for me. This sort of struck a nerve because it's true that I usually ask him to do small things, like telling the drive-through person if our order is wrong, because it just makes me feel weird and guilty, but somehow it feels like more his responsibility.
That is me. That is me. She is me, I am her.
But somehow it feels more like his responsibility because it's his family involved here. Anyways, so today my father-in-law made one more pointed comment during dinner and said, "Your son makes XXX. We live in a big city and rent is XXX. We literally cannot live on his salary alone, so I don't know why you think I should be home all day. They were pretty quiet after that. Now, my husband is really angry with me because I put him down in front of his family, who are all richer than us, and will look down on him. So, am I the asshole?
No, absolutely not. I love this. It's just stating facts.